So I fell in love with that idea and was lucky enough to get opportunities along the way. And so being able to represent the country and kind of chase down a dream and being able to do that has been special. And then obviously getting something special like this has kind of been an icing on the cap. It's been nice.
Welcome to episode 369 of Alberta Dugout Stories, the podcast. I'm Joe McFarland. The Canadian Baseball Hall of Fame and Museum has unveiled its class of 2026, and it's an excellent group to be celebrated June 20th in St. Mary's, Ontario. Jim Baba, Stubby Clapp, Kate Psota, Paul Runge, Bill Stoneman, and Devon White make up this year's class. The Hall's Director of Operations, Scott Crawford, says each of them, in their own way, made a tremendous impact on the game of baseball in our country. We listened in on the media availability with each of the inductees, and we'll hear from each of them during the course of this show. We'll start with Baba, who passed away last September. The Moose Jaw native was integral to the growth and development of baseball from coast to coast to coast. After working at various levels in Saskatchewan, he started his affiliation with Baseball Canada in the early 90s, going from coach and manager to manager of baseball operations in 2000 and eventually executive director. That included helping orchestrate the gold medal national team wins at the 2011 and 2015 Pan Am Games. He also served as technical director for the World Baseball Softball Confederation from 2002 to 2021 and is a member of the Saskatchewan Baseball Hall of Fame. Baba's daughter Melanie was on the call and says the honor means a lot to the family.
My dad put his whole life into baseball. Even up into his last days, he was still contributing his thoughts and ideas to WBSC. So it really means a lot to have him honored in this way. We wish he could be here with us to see the honor. But it means the world to see the impact he's made on baseball through Canada and through the world as we receive messages after his passing. So it's really great to have him honored and see the impact of him.
She was also asked about what he was most proud of and what he'd think of the day.
I would say he is proud of just the advances of baseball and where it's going, where it's coming from. He's always had a hand in the politics side of things. And I know there's big changes in baseball and has been through his lifetime. So I'd say he's proud of where it's come from and where it's gone to. He would be very, very honored and proud to be inducted alongside the other inductees today. Stubby has been mentioned in our household through the years. I have a signed Stubby ball in my house. So he would be very, very proud to be going in alongside these other members.
And following his death, Baba was remembered more for who he was versus what he did, which is something his daughter was touched by.
He definitely took who he was at home and put it out into who he was in his workplace and in the baseball community. He was assertive. He was stubborn. He knew what he was talking about. He was confident and knowledgeable. But he cared really a whole lot about what he did and the sport of baseball and the people that he impacted and worked with and coached in small little leagues. And so he really took that love of baseball and his character and his integrity and pushed that out into what he did with work and tournaments and coaching and overseeing WBSC and things like that.
Next up is episode 314 guest Stubby Clapp. The Windsor, Ontario native became known as Captain Canada for his outstanding performances on the international stage. His heroics with a walk-off bases-loaded single in the 1999 win over the U.S. at the Pan Am Games might as well be a heritage moment for baseball in this country. After a successful playing career, which included time with the Edmonton Cracker Cats, Clapp got into coaching and is now the first base coach with the St. Louis Cardinals. Here's what he said being named to the Hall meant to him.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's a huge honor. It's a huge honor every time you get to put on the jersey. As a young kid, I fell in love with the Olympics, and I fell in love with the dream of playing for Baseball Canada. And I didn't even understand what Baseball Canada was when I was 12 years old. So I fell in love with that idea and was lucky enough to get opportunities along the way. And so being able to represent the country and kind of chase down a dream and being able to do that has been special. And then obviously getting something special like this has kind of been an icing on the cap. It's been nice.
Interestingly, Clapp's coaching career actually began here in Alberta when he was a player coach in his final year with the Cracker Cats.
Yeah, no, my time in Edmonton was awesome. I loved it. We had 2 good years. A lot of fun there. We didn't win a whole lot of baseball games, but we had a lot of fun. And then that second year, kind of getting that coaching tag, put on you, and that responsibility was a lot of fun for me, being able to, share with the younger guys and stuff like that. But it was also like you look in the mirror, it was the writing on the wall. It was time to flip the page. Um, so for me, it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed getting that responsibility in a lesser, I guess, a lesser atmosphere where it wasn't everything on me because I still had to play. So it was fun, and I enjoyed that transition.
Clapp was also asked about his thoughts heading into this year's World Baseball Classic and some of the advice he'll be giving to the young players suiting up on the international stage.
Well, you know what? I think it's there already. I think that team in '99 kind of started a culture. And from '99 on, from all the teams that I played with, to even the teams that I was able to be a part of the coaching staff with, you can tell that there's a different culture when you put on Canada across your chest. And I'm guessing that it's going to be the same for this WBC. I mean, obviously, I know several of the guys from across the field, from the Naylor brothers, and then watching Toro and Lopez play, and all those guys. Obviously, Tyler O'Neill, and get to meet Denzel Clark again at this past banquet. I mean, everybody seems to have the same mindset and the same idea of how to play this game. And when we all get together and we have the same jersey on, it's win or go home. It's a very strong culture.
A legend in the women's game, Burlington, Ontario's Kate Psota joined the women's national team back in 2004 and was one of the longest tenured players, suiting up with the red, white, and black for 15 seasons, helping capture 6 women's World Cup medals, including silvers in 2008 and 2016. She was named to the World Cup All-Star team 4 times and was named the Ashley Stevenson Award winner in 2008, as well as women's national team MVP in 2009 and 2010. She's now a coach with the national team and is honored by the recognition.
It's such an incredible honor just to represent our team and the other women. I've had a lot of people reaching out, obviously, this morning. A lot of young players who aren't quite at that level yet. And that is inspiring to me, knowing that they're watching us, they want to be like us, and hopefully they are one day us. So I think that's been probably the coolest thing so far.
It's been a grind to get here, but there's now a professional league coming to light in 2026, and Psota says the game continues to evolve for the better.
I definitely think there's a lot of opportunities, more than challenges at this stage. It's been incredible to see the growth from when we started in 2004 till now, even coaching in 2024. The skill level has increased significantly, and the level of play in those tournaments. So I'm just really excited moving forward, and building our program in particular here in Canada, and hopefully getting a little bit of traction with this pro league that's going on in the States right now. I know there's a lot of excited people globally for that. A lot of my friends in Australia and the US are on board. So I'm just hoping we get a lot of attraction and move the game forward.
And it's not just on the field, but she's noticing how many are making a difference off the field as well, especially as she too has made that transition.
Yeah, I think it's definitely still early stages for playing. We'll have to see how that pans out. But watching Ash do her thing with the Jays right now, I think she's just, breaking down doors for other females behind them. Liz Ben with the Mets and what she's doing there. So having women in those roles and being visible in those roles is really going to help moving forward.
Next up is veteran umpire Paul Runge. The St. Catharines native spent 9 seasons in minor league baseball and another 25 in the bigs. He was chosen to be part of the crew for 9 National League Championship Series, 4 World Series, and 3 All-Star games. Interestingly, he's one of 3 generations of Runges to be Major League umpires, as his dad started in the American League from 1954 to 1970, and his son umpired in the NL from 1999 to 2012. He wasn't asked a lot of questions, but one that stood out for us was about his memories of being on second base when Joe Carter hit his famous 1993 World Series home run to deliver a second straight championship to Toronto.
Well, when you work those games, you have a little meeting before, and sometimes you shake people up by saying, "Got a bad feeling about this game," or better concentrate. We don't want to get in trouble. Um, I think we're all dialed in on watching that home run, and I think we all did see that home run. That is pretty spectacular. He's a great guy, a great ball player, um, and he should be paid a tribute.
The fifth member of the class of 2025 is former Montreal Expos player and executive Bill Stoneman. He was on their inaugural opening day roster in 1969, tossing a no-hitter against the Philadelphia Phillies in the team's ninth ever regular season contest, becoming the first pitcher to throw a no-no for a Canadian team. He threw a second in 1971 against the New York Mets to become the first to do it on Canadian soil. After his playing career ended, Stoneman returned to the Expos in 1983 as assistant to the president, then rose to vice president of baseball operations, leaving for the Angels in 1999. While he's originally from Oak Park, Illinois, he still thinks of himself as a Canadian at heart.
Well, when I first arrived in Dorval Airport, I mean, when I first found out that I was going to be going to play baseball in Canada, I didn't even know where Montreal was, and pulled out a map, found out where it was, and ended up getting up to Montreal, and we ended up having a parade uh, prior to that 1969 season, and it was an interesting parade through the city of Montreal, and but getting up there and learning about Canadians, shoot, all the players on that team were really happy to be in Canada. They found out how good Canadians were as people, and enjoyed playing up there, and ended up living there for 30 years in total after marrying a French Canadian up there, and loved the 30 years that I lived up there.
And of course, he was asked about that 1994 season and what it would have meant to Montreal had the Expos gone on a long playoff run, or even better, won the World Series, especially as he had stadium plans for the downtown in one of his office drawers.
Well, shoot, a World Series win in a Little League stadium would save the franchise, but it wouldn't have mattered. That's what it's all about. And that's why John McHale kept talking about marketing, and marketing in baseball is what's on the field. And, it would have been great to get into the World Series. It's too bad we weren't able to make it through to 94, but get that season done and win everything, because that was, for me, that was going to be a World Series team for sure, and probably a World Series winner, and maybe the best team that I've ever been involved with was that 94 team in Montreal. But with a new stadium and all that, obviously baseball would still be in Montreal then if that all happened.
And our final inductee to be profiled here on the show is Devon White. The speedy outfielder and fielding sensation was a guest on episode 260 of the show when he was in Calgary for the Blue Jays Academy National Coaches Clinic at Weber Academy. The five-time Gold Glove winner is best remembered for his time with the Blue Jays, including the 1992 and 1993 World Series runs. He's gone on to be a minor league coach and special assistant to player development in the Jays organization. Like Stoneman, the Jamaica-born White feels he's a Canadian at heart and is honored to be recognized by the Hall.
I've always enjoyed and said Canada is my second home. The city's so diverse, and I love being there, family there, and just being in Hall of Fame now is just this is a big circle, came right together for me, and so ecstatic about it, and I'm very, very happy about it.
When it comes to his time in Toronto, White says a few favorite memories stand out still.
Wow, there were so many of them. It's tough to say, I got here at the winter of 90, 91. We lost to Minnesota, and in 92, of course, we won it. 93, we won it. So, it's it's a long chain, you might say, of success and memory in Toronto. So I can't really put my finger on one.
White was also a member of the Edmonton Trappers during the 1980s when he was in the California Angels system, and while he may have felt like he deserved to be in the bigs at that time, he still has fond memories of the provincial capital.
The thing I remember about Edmonton is those big mosquitoes. Yeah, so but I enjoy that my time there, and of course, I was fortunate that the guys ahead of me was the Reggie Jackson, the George Hendricks, and those guys, big names. So I spent some time in Edmonton to develop some more, which I needed. And when I did go up, everything seems a lot easier for me. So I really enjoy that. California, this kind of wore out my welcome, I think. And that's why, I kind of asked for a trade. And when I got traded to Toronto, I was ecstatic.
That's going to do it for this edition of the show. Congratulations again to the Canadian Baseball Hall of Fame and Museum's class of 2026, and thanks to all for taking the time to speak with members of the media. Make sure to head to our websites for stories on those who have connections to Alberta and Saskatchewan, and we still have more to come from the induction announcement in the days to come. And again, the induction ceremony is set for June 20th in St. Mary's, Ontario. As always, a tip of the cap to our Platinum supporters, the Okotoks Dogs, Under the Lights Sports and Entertainment, and the Western Canadian Baseball League for their generosity in helping us tell the game's stories. Their support helps us cover costs like web hosting fees, online newspaper subscriptions, and podcast software. For more on our teammates and to join our roster, head to albertadugoutstories.com/supporters. Until next time, thank you for all of your support online, on social, and on air of Alberta Dugout Stories.